little update on the backpack. You probably saw it yesterday. At the end of the video, we washed my backpack. She used a concoction of baking soda and Tide powder and good old manual labor. The good news is, when I put my pack on this morning, it was dry. I didn't think it was going to dry, but it dried. And I did not get hit with this overwhelming urge to have a gag reflex. So that's good. Backpack smells great. I'm very glad we washed it. Now, if there's any pungent odors coming from a backpack, it is no longer mine. Bon Camino. Hola. Bon dia.
Hola.
Bon Camino.
Bon dia. Bon Camino.
I think Lady Rekka is taking a day off today, I think, of updates.
Mind your business.
Minding my business. So a little update. We just passed the 4-mile mark and we just had our first proper break. We're gonna take all the breaks today, which is obviously that's typical for us, but we have, what, 14 miles today? 14 to 15 miles. We're going from Sernadelo to Aguada. I know I'm saying that wrong. Aguada. That's where we're going. I've got a hotel there. The real dilemma is tomorrow, the options are you go, and as you know, we seek out private accommodations. That's just what we prefer. So we can go 10 miles tomorrow, which logistically
Does not sound.
it doesn't work because even if we left at our checkout time tomorrow, 10 a.m., we're going to get there at 1:30, and you can't even check in yet. So that doesn't really work. And then there's a couple of little towns in between at like the 15-mile mark and the 17-mile mark. But to get a private accommodations in those locations, we'd have to either walk or Uber off of the Camino. And that doesn't make sense either. So then the next big town it's 22 to 24 miles. We're not sure. It's a long ways.
Which also does not sound nice.
Which also does not sound pleasant. So the options we talked about were Carissa just walks until her feet can't walk anymore, and then we throw her in a cab up to that town. Or we check in today and drop our bags, and then maybe try to knock out another 5 miles. 5 to 7 miles. Because at the 7-mile mark, we would get to a bigger town where it would be easy to get an Uber or a cab back to our hotel. So that's probably what we're going to do. Check in as early as we can today, or whenever we get there. Drop our bags and probably knock out some more miles. It's a nice day. It's overcast. It's a little misty, but the overcast is nice because it's just to get a break from the sun. Anything else? What am I forgetting? Forgot.
Left my shoes behind.
She left her shoes behind this morning. Oh, this is another thing way off the subject of what I'm talking about, but these dogs.
Yeah, I'll come over here.
We have, what's the name of that grocery store that we've fallen in love with?
Pingo Dos.
Pingo Dos, I think it is. Easy, buddy. 2 reasons I love it. You can get like a half a gallon of orange juice, fresh squeezed from the machine for $4.
Jason is crushing orange juice from
Matter of fact, the first time we were there, I actually drank half of it while we were walking around the store. And then we went to the self-checkout, which, what a giant mistake. We can't handle self-checkouts in America, let alone here. The machine was losing its mind because it's like, hey, I said put the item on the scale. I'm like, I did put the item on the scale. Well, the item weighed half of what it was supposed to. Because I drank half of it. Anyways, they have a little cafeteria where, is that right? Cafeteria? Restaurant.
They have a restaurant.
You know, they got the hot meals and everything like you see in America, but you can get like a pizza off the shelf, like a fresh pizza. It's not frozen.
Yeah.
And they'll heat it up for you, and it takes them like 2 minutes to heat the whole pizza up.
And it was...
So we ate dinner last night at the grocery store for $15 US for 2 pizzas, a half a bottle of wine, and I had a Coke Zero and a lemonade. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So, Pingo Dos for the win.
Love it.
Bon Camino. Hola, bon dia, bon camino. How am I doing, babe?
So far, so
Is that pretty good? So we just had our second break. We're at the, what, 11 mile mark?
not quite 10 3/4.
10.75 miles. Listen, from Sernadelo to Aguida,
It's not a nice walk.
it's probably our least favorite. The Buen Camino app showed that we would do about 3/4 of a mile in the woods, and then the other 14 and whatever miles would be on the road, and it's correct. Anyways, the Wise Pilgrim app tells us we're approaching a city. It's actually called the Industrial Zone. So I think the day is going to get less beautiful. We have decided when we check in, we're going to continue on and make some miles. We still haven't decided if we're going to take a cab forward and then walk back to our hotel, or if we'll walk forward and then get a cab back. Anyways, let's do a feet status check. How are your feet, babe?
Probably the best they've been in the past 7 days.
Well, that's good news.
How are yours?
Unfortunately, Jason Reck has joined the blister party. We popped 2 on my right foot. Now I got a pretty substantial one on my left foot. But yet again with the agriculture in Portugal, this is an entire field of kiwi. We've seen one kiwi tree up to date, but this is a whole field of them.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Not with, well, the wind was blowing it off my head.
He
So then
put
I put
on
my
a,
hat on and it was too much.
he put on a new head covering. That's what I came to show you. But I was too late. He took it off.
That's how long it lasted.
Not long. Well, check this out. Industrial zone.
It's as beautiful as they advertise.
It. At least it's not gonna last long. It's only gonna be like 2 more miles. We can do it.
Hola, buon tarde, bon camino. This is your 20-mile update. You heard that correct, 20 miles. We've been walking for 6 hours and 40 minutes, and I shut the time off when we take a break, so that's why I say walking. And it's just shy of 4 p.m. As I alluded to earlier, we dropped some stuff off at the hotel. Lady Rec is sans a backpack. In America, we would call that a slack pack. It's totally legal, and it is
changed my whole mood.
It is within the ethics of trekking. I took out about 4 liters of water and some electronics. And speaking of water, I'm embarrassed to admit after 20 miles,
You shouldn't even say this.
I've drank less water. Which way do we go? That way? I've drank less water in 20 miles of walking than I usually drink by 7:30 a.m. on a work day. My nutrition coach would be super pissed, but I can say that because I know she doesn't watch my videos. So, there you go, Kate.
Yeah. Kate.
So again, as I alluded to earlier, Lady Rec did not want to do a 23-mile day tomorrow. So I think we're going to do a 25-mile day today, which it's like some sort of woman anti-logic. I don't get it. But you know what? She's laughing and she's having a good time, and that's all that matters. I think the Burger King satiated her. We did do the healthy option at Burger King. I got 1 cheeseburger, not 3. So yeah, I got that going for me. So I think we got 5 more miles to go. You'll have to look at the relive at the end of the video to see the total mileage, but I would guess it's gonna be right around 25. Anything else, babe?
Bon Camino.
Bon camino. I'm not a footologist. So what's the word for that?
Podiatrist.
Yeah, I'm not a foot diatrist.
A footologist.